Hello everybody and welcome to this video tutorial on how you can create your own game launcher update with the game launcher creator. So as I understand it, a few people are struggling with how it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and simplify it down in this video just so you can see exactly how this should work in Game Launcher Creator. So basically, the way it works is when you create your first install of your game. Now, if you've already released a game previous to using Game Launcher Creator, you can just use this for your next install or your next patch, whatever it's going to be. So basically, what happens is, say we here I've got on my G drive, I've got my game folder. So this is my final distribution. So this is what I'm going to distribute. This is my game. When I run it, as you can see inside, it's just an application that has version 1.0 on a text string. So there's nothing fancy about it, but this could be your game from maybe from an Unreal Engine development or a Unity, ClickTeam Fusion, Construct, Game Maker, anything, whatever it is that you're using to make your game. So this will be the output, the game's executable, and obviously all the folders and files that go along with your game. So just ignore this update folder because that's not relevant right now. All that's relevant is this. I mean, you might have other folders. You might have like a data folder, you might have, I don't know, like a music folder, and you might have a lib folder, you might have all sorts. So you can include all these in your initial update, in your initial install. So what I would recommend doing is using, there's a software from ClickTeam called Install Creator Pro. Now you can download a free version as well, so you don't have to use the Pro version. But the free version works just as well as the Pro. Obviously the Pro has a few more professional touches and features to it. But what all you do is it's quite simple to get this up and running. I'm going to show you right now how simple it is. So just say inside our data folder we have some files. I'm just going to create a quick text file called data.txt just so that there's files in there so the installer can pack it. So I'm just going to put this is our text file. Save that, close it. I'm going to copy that over to the lib folder and we'll call this lib.txt. This is another file. And then we'll copy one over to music as well. So we'll put a dummy MP3 in here. We can just change the extension there, and Windows will think it's an MP3. Okay, so forget about this update folder. I'll tell you what. Let's to make sure that we do forget about that update folder. Let's just move it out of here for a second. So I'm just going to move this to my desktop, where I can't see any icons. Let's show that. There we go. Now I can see the icons. Right. Alright, so this is my final game. This is my game. So what we do is we nip over to ClickTeam's Install Creator, and we're going to create a new installer for our game. So all we do is go to source directories here, as you can see, and then click on this here, and then head over to the folder. So in our example here, we go to the G drive, and then we go down to my game, and then I just click OK. Now as you can see, ClickTeam's install creator picks up everything. So it's got mygame.exe, it's got the data folder with the text file in it, the lib folder with the text file in it. So obviously, if you're distributing your game, you're probably going to have a few folders and maybe some loads of files to distribute with it, models and sound effects and all that kind of jazz. But it can be as big as you want. It's entirely up to you. It's your project, so there's no limit on the support here. So once we've got this done, you need to configure it slightly. So for example, mygame.executable, you can specify what folder it gets installed to, and this is for the start menu here. So I am going to do a start menu folder for it. Let's do start menu, and then we'll call it my game, just like that. And then the name of it will be my game. This is for the shortcut to the executable that's created. So there's plenty of other options that you can do. You can do desktop shortcuts and all this kind of stuff. It's a really good installer. And then you can configure all the wizard text and stuff, so you can replace the title macro, my product, so it'll be my game. And you can even preview these dialogues as you go along. Welcome to my game install program. So this is the initial installer that you're going to be doing. Now, One thing that we don't have in here, which we should have, and this is what's vital for the updater and Game Launcher Creator to work, is a version.txt file. So all you simply do is in your distributable folder, this is all the files that we're going to distribute. We just create a new text file called version.txt, and inside it we put in the number 1. Now, if you've already got a game prior to using the game launcher out, then you can put whatever version number you want in here. Whatever the starting number is going to be, you put in here. But if it's your first distribution of the game, then it's going to be number 1, and you can just save that. So we head back over to here and we can refresh, and you can see the version.txt file is now included with the installation. So I'm not going to configure much of these settings because it's all about the update and not the install. So we want to install it to Program Files, My Game. And that's pretty much it for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the installer. So it's going to ask me where I want to build it to, and I'm going to go to G, My Game, and then I'm going to create a folder. Oh no, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the root. I'm going to create a new folder called My Game Dist, and then I'm going to call it install.exe. So installer creator is going to build that for me. And now what I can do is I can head over to G My Game Dist. You can see we now have the installer. So what I would do is I would upload this to my web server and people can download this. So in this example I've created a folder called My Game over at biteboxmedia.co.uk. So what I can do is I can upload this install.exe. And as that's uploading, terrible internet right now, 128 kilobytes upload speed. Don't go with TalkTalk. If you're in the UK, do not go with TalkTalk. Absolutely abysmal. We're supposed to be on fibre as well. Terrible. Right, so we've uploaded our install.exe to backboxmedia.co.uk/mygame, and then it's install.exe. So what you would do is when you come to distribute your game online, through your website or through Facebook or whatever, you give them the link to the install.exe, which is here on this this directory. So this would be, let me just type this out for you in Notepad just so you can see. So the link I would give them is biteboxmedia.co.uk/mygame/install.exe. So that's the initial installer done. You can give that out and people will be able to download the installer here and install your game. So what do we do when it comes to the Game Launcher Creator? Alright, so I'm just going to launch Game Launcher Creator and show you there's a step that we need to go back and do, and I'll show you that right now. So when we want to create our game launcher for our game, we need to ensure that we include the launcher with our initial installer, and as you can see we've not done that. We've just distributed the game over. So if we go back to Game Launcher Creator here, and I'm just going to use one of the default templates that comes along with this. Let's go with the noise. I'm going to call this My Game. Create a new project. And as you can see here, we have a check for updates button in this template. Now, if you don't have to use a template, you can create your own game launchers. And all you have to do is select a button, and then up here, just choose check for updates. That's all you got to do. This box you can just leave blank. And then the launch button is mygame.exe, as you can see there. So that's the game that they're going to be launching. So we can update that. Just go back here, check for updates, update that. And then you go to your built-in updater settings. So we want to do include updater. I'm not going to bother with the auto update on this one, but you guys can. And then we've got an online version check. So our online version check is a file that we're going to check for the current version that's available. Well, the only version that's available right now is version 1 because that's our first release. So I can just drag this version text file over to the web server like that. So the online version check now, I need to put in the URL for it. So it's byteboxmedia.co.uk/mygame/version.txt, and then the local version text file is version.txt, as you can see here. So that's got the number 1 in it. And then it's going to ask for the update download URL. So basically, when there's an update available, this is the file that it's going to download. So I'm going to put in byteboxmedia.co.uk/mygame/update or install, whatever you want to do. You can have 2 separate ones. You can have an initial installer and then a separate update executable. So I'll click apply for that, and that's pretty much done. So what I do now is I just go to build launcher, build that. So that's created my launcher. Now you'll notice it opens up in the projects directory here. This is really easy, so you can just select these files and copy them and take them back to your games distributable folder. So we now have our splash inside there. So if I run our game launcher like so, and then click on launch, it launches our game, which is exactly what Game Launcher Creator is designed to do. Now, if I run this again and check for updates, no updates available, your version 1, available version 1. So you can see that there's no updates available yet. Now, let's go back a step here. You'll notice when we created the initial installer that we didn't include the launcher in it. Well, we can do that right now. So back to install creator, let's refresh that. You can see we've now got all the files for the launcher included with our game. So everything else is done, except one thing I do want to do is after the installer has finished, I want it to launch the game launcher. So I can just go to view and run, and we'll just select run, and we can do run when installer exits. So basically, when our user has now installed our game to the computer, as soon as the install is finished, it will launch our game launcher. So I'm going to go to build, and I'm going to overwrite that install.exe. Just like that. So now when I go back to my game dist, you can see we now have our initial installer. It's now 8 meg. So let's get that uploaded because I'm running on terrible internet today. So I'm going to get that uploaded now. So I can just show you guys how this is going to work. So I'll just get Firefox ready so we can download that. So basically the way it works, I'll just run over it with you while it's uploading, is every time you make an update to your game, so this is our initial game here, and it all works fine, but say that you've been working on an update and you want to release an update, then what you do is you would put all this into a different folder. So you can just use the My Game folder as your distributable, or you can just keep all this as it is, doesn't matter. And what you do is you simply update the version number in the local text file and then rebuild the installer. That's all you need to do. I'll show you how it works. So, and basically what happens in Game Launcher Creator is when your user is checking for updates, it'll compare the version number inside what's installed to the version number that's on the server. So when you do have an update available and you've got the update.exe uploaded, you just change the version number in the server, because this is 1, remember, and it's currently 1 on the server as well. So there's no updates available. So when I upload the update.exe to this folder, I then change the number inside version.txt on the server to number 2. So then the next time they check through the launcher, if there's an update available, the local version will still be 1, but the server version will be 2. So then Game Launcher Creator will know that there's an update available, and it will download update.exe and install the update for the user. So that's how it works, and obviously this video is showcasing you this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pretend that I'm just a first-time user. So I'm going to go byteboxmedia.co.uk/mygame/install.exe. So I'm downloading your game now. So this is what I'm doing. As you can see, save file. So we'll save the file. If it's going to save the file. I don't really use Firefox that much, but I've got too many tabs open on Chrome, so I can't really use that. Alright, we've got 4 seconds left, few seconds left, so we're going to install this as if I was installing the game. Alright, open file. Run anyway. If you ever get that prompt, it's because your install.exe has not been, there's no certificates on it. You can get digital certificates for that online if you're serious about your game dev. If not, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so let's install the game. So it's going to install to program files, my game. Click next. Doesn't exist, create it, and then start. So my game has successfully been installed. Now when I click on exit, you'll notice that it launches our game launcher, which is awesome because that's exactly what we want. And we've also got a folder here called my game, which is in the start menu. So if I wanted to launch our game, I'm just going to show you where that's installed to. So if I go here and then properties and then open file location, you can see that our game is now installed to my program files and then my game. And you can also see that we have version 1.txt inside our installed version. So when I check for updates, again, it's going to come back that there's no updates available because we've got version 1 installed and version 1's available on the server. So I'm just going to exit that. What happens when we want to build an update? Let me just go and get my update folder that we had before. So what I would do is, here's the update. So you can see my initial executable has got a green icon and my new one has got a red icon. This is just so you can see that the update actually works. So I would copy that across there and replace my game. Refresh that. I don't think the icon's refreshing, but it does when you run it. You can see it's got version 2 inside. So you go back to your installer when you've got an update available, you refresh the files, and then you build update.exe. Now, before you do that, you must make sure that you change version to 2 in the new installer. And that's so that when the users downloaded this update, it updates the version number for the installer as well. Otherwise, it's just going to keep downloading the same update. So now we can build update.exe. This is going to be 8 meg as well, so this is going to be fun uploading again. And that's gone into my disk. There we go. So there's the update. So it's basically just an installer all over again, with the same, well, with the updated files inside. So I'll go back to FileZilla and I'll upload update.exe. So once update.exe is available, as you can see, if we go back to Game Launcher Creator here, you can see that we've got in our updater settings, so that's the version file that it's checking on the server, and that's the local version file. And then we've already specified what the executable name is for the update to download. So we're going to see this in action in just a second once this is uploaded. But you can see how easy it is in Game Launcher Creator to create updates for your game. So once you've got this process into your head on how it works, you can just basically seamlessly keep rolling out updates as much as you want for your game. Now, some people may be thinking, well, there's certain files I don't want to overwrite, and maybe there's only certain files that I need to patch for the user. Well, you can do all that inside Install Creator. You don't do that with the Game Launcher Creator. You do all that from in here. Like for example, if you select a file on the installer, you can choose certain settings like do not uninstall this file, or keep the file external. You can download file. You can do stuff like do not install if a file with the same name is already installed. So if you want some proper patch options for your game development, then you can do all them kind of settings inside Install Creator here. It's nothing to do with Game Launcher Creator. All Game Launcher Creator is doing is checking that there's an update available, and then it downloads it for the user and gets the update running as well. What are we up to here? 97%. Alright, so now you can see that update.exe is now available. So if I go back to our game launcher, which is installed, and run it, you'll notice that when I check for updates, it will still say there isn't an update available, and that's because we need to now update the text file on the server. So we just simply edit, change that to a 2, save it, re-upload it, and you're done. So now when the next time the user launches your game launcher and they check for updates, it's going to say an update is available, do you wish to download? They select yes, it downloads update.exe off the server, and then once that's downloaded, it will install the update to the user's computer. So it's downloaded the update, it's closed the game launcher, they install the update, and now when we launch our game, you can see we have version 2 installed. So it really is that simple to do with the Game Launcher Creator. You simply just remember that every time you have an update available, you just simply rebuild the installer from the distributable directory, because what happens in game development is you tend to have folders what contains all your source code for your project. Well, when you do your final build, it's best to copy all the final build files into its own folder, like my game. So then you know that all these files that are here are exactly all the files that need to be installed on the user's computer in order for them to play your game. So every time you have an update available, just export your project to this dedicated folder that you've got, and then just rebuild the installer. That's simply all you have to do. Once you've created the update.exe, you simply upload it to your web server and overwrite any previous update.exes that are there, and then just change the version number. So if the last version was version 2 like this, and we have another update, once I've done uploaded the update.exe, then I just change the version number inside the text file to 3, and then the next time they launch the game and check for an update, it will see that there's a new version available. So I hope that was helpful to you. I hope it describes it in a little bit better detail. When I get a little bit of time, I'll probably do a written tutorial on this so you can just follow it step by step if this video just goes a little bit too quick for you, but at least you can replay this video over and over again until you get it. But it's there's some documentation available already on the Game Launcher Creator website at gamelaunchercreator.com. If you click on the support section and go to documentation, there's some documentation in there as well. We've also got a Discord channel which you can come and find us at. If you go to gamelaunchercreator.com and go to the support page, there's a link there to the Discord channel where you can jump on and chat with any of the developers and any of the users of Game Launcher Creator. But I hope you found that video useful. GameLauncherCreator.com is the website. Game Launcher Creator, there is so much more stuff being developed into Game Launcher Creator to make it the best game launcher designer product on the market. Up to now, bar none, Game Launcher Creator is most certainly the most powerful and fastest and easy to use game launcher creator with no programming requirements at all. As you can see, it's just all a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. You can play with a ton of objects here. You can have cloud-based images, local images, server queries, buttons, videos, websites integrated, all in here. It's all drag and drop, and it's very functional as well, and it's being constantly worked on to add new features. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was useful for you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.